My guest at this time, as you can see, is the #1 arm wrestler in the world, Devon Larratt from Ottawa, Ontario. Devon, thanks for stopping by. I appreciate you doing the show.
Thanks for having me out, Scott.
No problem. So listen, I want to talk to you about the Ottawa High Hookers and the In the Hook videos.
Yeah.
I absolutely love these things. They become a mainstay on the show. Anybody that tunes into In Focus. An amazing part of the show. Thank you guys for doing that. Where do the ideas for this stuff come from?
Well, first, we love doing it. You know, Ottawa High Hookers, we are passionate about arm wrestling. We really have great times getting together, and you know, not only are we arm wrestlers, but we're big fans of arm wrestling, right? So we follow what's going on in the arm wrestling world, and there's some things we can parody, you know, some viewpoints we like to pick at, you know, and sometimes every once in a while we'll share our wickedly awesome techniques. But that's getting rarer and rarer now. We're pretty much just mostly doing parody.
Yeah.
You know, John comes up with stuff, I come up with stuff. You know, all of us, we just put our heads together, think of what's funny, and you know, we make it happen.
So, is it difficult to, first of all, to let yourself look that foolish on camera?
Well, anybody who knows me knows that, you know, regularly I'm pretty foolish. You know, so I'm trying to step it up when I come on camera most of the time, but yeah.
The one question I've been asked more than anything, where'd the green suit come from?
The green suit, yeah. In one of my travels, met this tailor. Said he could make anything. I'm like, oh really? You know, can he make? You got any like fluorescent green? He's like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, well. Then I had a picture, and I gave him the picture, and he stitched it out, and yeah.
You know what? We love that suit. And I must say, I laughed my bloody ass off when I watched the homage to Armsport videos and the super slow-mo. I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah.
You're going to keep on doing this. We all hope.
Yeah, we got a lot of ideas. It's just, you know, I mean, it's just getting together and doing it all, because it's hard. We have these great ideas we want to do, and then we normally do them at the end of practice, but sometimes at the end of practice we're just cooked, and we run out of steam. But yeah, we got a lot of ideas, and we'll keep doing it. We'll keep on pumping out, you know, funny stuff about arm wrestling.
Great. Well, I tell you what, I love them. I know everybody else out there watching loves them, and thanks, and hey. I'm Scott McGinnis for In Focus, and we'll catch you next time. At this time is my guest, the #1 arm wrestler, right-handed in the world, Devon Larratt. Devon, nice to see you.
Hey, Scott.
Thanks for joining us on the show. For those who don't know, why don't you just give us a little brief history of how you got involved in arm wrestling in the first place?
Well, I always have loved arm wrestling, ever since I was a little kid. I mean, I remember my grandmother used to come over to my house, and she actually arm wrestled, believe it or not.
Really?
Yeah, and she let me arm wrestle her when I was like 5 or 6, and I remember I just hang on and hold on to her as long as she'd let me. Eventually she'd get pissed off and throw me down and send me away. But every chance that I had, I wanted to arm wrestle my grandmother. And it was my goal, like when I was 5, then 6, and 7. Oh, grandma's coming over. Maybe I can beat her this time. I mean, so I always loved it, and through school, I just always really I don't know, I just gravitated towards it. And then I went out west, started working in the oil field, and I met Dion Langell, real arm wrestler.
Yeah, okay.
Well, kind of funny story. So Dion is the baddest guy at work.
Yeah.
Okay, so I could beat just about everybody. Pretty much, I think I was beating everybody at work, except for the real arm wrestler. So everybody's like, oh, you got to try Dion. Anyways, so I get up there one night finally, and of course he spanks me, right? He's a real arm wrestler, kills me. I'm like 200 pounds off the farm. He's like 165-pound stud arm wrestler, killing me. Anyways, the next day at work, I told everybody that I beat him. And, you know, and then he didn't take that very well, but anyways, I guess he saw something in me and decided he'd train me. So I was his punching bag for about 4 months. He was getting ready for some tournament, and I got to train with him. Took me to my first tournament, and I knew I loved it before I met him, but then I realized what arm wrestling really could be.
Okay.
And then I moved back to Ontario, got with Troy, started pulling an Ontario circuit, and
So I had heard a long time ago, probably when I first heard about you, 97, 98. I remember the first time I met you was 99, but I had heard that you were given a lot of the credit to Troy Eaton for making you the arm wrestler back then, and maybe into the arm wrestler you are today. Is that true?
Yeah, 100%. You know, I think that Dion started me on a path, gave me some great fundamentals, but once I got with Troy, you know, Troy took me a long way. Troy taught the basis for everything I know comes from Troy Eaton.
Okay.
You know, everything, I mean, it's grown from there, but, you know, we used to watch video, we used to record each other arm wrestling, go back home and break it down. And this was before, you know, arm wrestling was big on the internet. Yeah. You know, pad movement, hand placement, all that stuff. I mean, all my roots come from that, you know.
Sweet.
Yeah.
That's, so I know arm wrestling is a little bit different today, but you came into the game when basically there wasn't all these super matches all over the places, challenge matches. There wasn't a PAL league or UAL league or whatever. The Arm Wars didn't exist back then. So I know you're a big fan of the Arm Wars type of, or the Vendetta style matches, but do you think coming up in the old school way was really beneficial to you, or?
Well, I think that everybody should start that way.
Okay.
Really, I mean, I think that the one-on-ones, don't get me wrong, I love the one-on-ones, I really do. The main reason, there's a lot of reasons why I like the one-on-ones. Yeah. You know, it's so, when you win a tournament, there's so many things that can, I feel like I can't get credit for it, you know? When I win a tournament, I just never really can, there's sometimes I can take it, but there's a lot of times I won a tournament and I'm like, you know, I don't feel as full.
Really?
You know? It's true, yeah. Like, I mean, I competed tournaments for a long time, and, you know, the information and the reward and just everything that I got from tournaments, for me,
it wasn't there.
No, it really wasn't.
Compared to what you're doing more now.
Really, I mean, like, I use the example a lot. Well, like when I was first coming up, you know, pull provincials, pull nationals. I think I got third my first national. So I probably got this information wrong.
That's okay.
But the guy who won it was John Roberts in my weight class.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, that's the man to beat. And I think he probably was. You know,
great puller in his day,
right?
Yeah.
And I think he probably was the real Canadian champion. Mm-hmm. But so I trained, went back the next year. I won the nationals, but no John Roberts, right? You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah.
So Canadian champion, but I didn't feel it, you know?
Because you didn't actually beat the man.
Right, I didn't beat the man. So, you know, I knew in my mind right then and there, I was like, right, it's really not about the title. It's about beating the individual, and that's really what I've taken in my career. I don't really care about the tournament and the title. It's about how you did it. It's about who you beat.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah, no, that makes sense. But still, your advice though for new guys getting involved into arm wrestling, tournament pulling is the way to start off, you think?
Well, tournament pulling is, I mean, it's hard as a new guy. Like, we're talking brand new. Like, if you're a brand new arm wrestler, if you can do a super match with another brand new arm wrestler, I think that's great.
Okay.
I think that's fantastic. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Tournaments are good. It's a very different style of arm wrestling. Anybody who has been arm wrestling a while can really understand that, you know, to be a great tournament arm wrestler requires different strategy in your training and everything to be a great one-on-one arm wrestler. The strategies and tricks you can use in a one-on-one match will not fly in a tournament. You know, the strategies you use in a tournament, you know, you're not using your full potential. In the one-on-one format, I think more of the whole athlete can come out. You know, okay. I feel like you can use more aspects of fighting spirit and competitiveness. I really feel you can.
Okay, so just in your tournament career versus the challenge match career, even though you still compete in tournaments time to time. So you've been to the Ontario Provincials. You've won the Ontario Provincials a few times.
Yeah, I mean, when I started, I did the provincials, I did the nationals, I did the worlds. Basically 2 years in a row, I copied that chain. And then I said, okay, all the best guys are showing up to the money tournaments. So I was like, okay, I'll pull money tournaments. So, you know, I always did the Michael Classic. I did the All Niagara event. You know, odds and ends around Ontario and Quebec. I didn't get to travel too much, you know, to a lot of the ones in the States I would have liked to. But around that time, like when I started actually becoming successful in the money tournaments, that's when the challenge matches started to emerge more, and I just really latched onto those.
Okay, cool. And on that, we'll take a break, and we'll be right back. Okay, and we're back again with the champ, Devon Larratt. In our first segment, we covered a little bit about your tournament background. So now we'll get into more of the challenge matches. You touched a little bit about what drew you to them. And you compete in both. Like, for example, I want to throw one thing at you. You showed up at the Arnolds. I think everybody should be at the Arnolds at least once in their arm wrestling career. Yeah. And you didn't win.
No, I've never had good luck at the Arnolds. I think the first time I went to the Arnolds, I think I was double eliminated.
Really?
I think so, yeah. It was like 2000, David Randall, and then I think Ryan Espy beat me. It was just I was so mad. I've never been so mad. I've never been double eliminated in my life except for that. I think that day I got double eliminated.
Okay, well, let me ask you this, because I hear all kinds of people saying, and rankings are whatever they are, they're somebody's opinion. So to be the man, you got to beat the man. Don Underwood on the record has a win over you.
Oh, now you're going to piss me off. Don Underwood, we got to do this again. Don Underwood's a fantastic arm wrestler.
I'm not saying anything against
I know you're not.
Don.
I know you're not. It's okay. It's okay. Trust me. I've woken up. Don Underwood, I've done it, okay? All right?
I don't know if you should be calling his name as much as that referee's name.
The thing is, here's the thing. I mean, and that's another thing that bites me, you know. Arnold's, you know, I'll say it like I think it right now. Arnold's is such a fantastic venue. Yep. And, I mean, I mean, I like what they do because it's arm wrestling and they're getting it out there, but you got this beautiful stage in front of all these athletes, like, man, you can make it better, you know? Don't rush the athletes on and off the stage, you know, and do it so fast that you're fouling guys out for, you know, it's just the whole feel of the event in my mind. And maybe I'm tainted because I've lost, like a loser. You know, I get it. Okay, the losers always complain. But I mean, I think if you, Jesus, just give it to fucking Neal Pickup. Give the event to Neal. Okay,
Now that I've got you all worked up and wound up, so you do need to have a rematch with Don Underwood.
Yeah, I do.
Let me point blank straight out. You've watched the video afterwards probably 1,000 times. It probably replays in your head when you go to sleep, right?
It does. Yeah, I'm not going to sleep tonight. How much of a bullshit call was that? Well, I think it was bullshit. I really do. I felt like, I stopped him, and I felt like I was going to be in control of that match. But whatever. Don and I had another match, a year and a half later, something which went right to the wire. We had it down in Vegas. Were you there for that? No, I was not. Anyways, great match, close match, but again, I'll tell you, he had the best. Don, that's the best chance you were ever gonna have, man. I faced that monster, the Leviathan, then I faced Tim Bresnan, and then you on the other side. What'd you have? One match and then Travis? That's the easiest you're ever gonna have it. The easiest. Okay, so let me ask you this. So, because everybody knows. Much respect, Don. Well, no, I'm going to give Don props right now. Because this man, is there a guy with a super heavyweight with a better hit off the go than that? Is there? Well, not that I've faced. No. Don's and that's all we're talking about. Yeah. I think Don is an extremely intelligent arm wrestler. Mm-hmm. Sets up, fantastic. I think he's very explosive. And really, matchup against me, he's a good matchup for me. He's got that short arm. He can turn over real quick. And he's real strong, too, I don't think he gets enough credit for his strength, but that's a strong dude, too. Just because you stop him, it's not necessarily... You know, yeah, he's a great arm wrestler.
Okay. So right now, okay, so why does Neal Pickup have it right? So you're saying give it to Neal, give it to Neal. Why does Neal Pickup have it right?
Okay. I've done a lot of different events. I really do believe in Neal Pickup's format. So first off, Neal's voice, Neal's charisma.
Yep.
Right? Nobody else has got that.
Yep.
His ability to forget about the editing and all the afterwards. If you've got a live audience, you need Neal Pickup, right?
Okay.
He can make it happen on the day, whether it's because of the suit or whatever, you know. And I also think that as far as matchups go, I think that nobody understands matchups as good as Neal Pickup.
Okay.
I think that his accuracy in making great matches happen speaks for itself. You know, the way that he's put together cards, the experience that he has in it, he's gonna. If you give him an event, he's gonna be able to make a great card. Guaranteed, great matches. You know, and I think that the biggest thing of all is I really believe in the format. I really believe in the running foul system when it comes to exciting arm wrestling that's worth watching. You know, the whole foul issue, you know, the way they ref arm wrestling, I mean, just, you know, it gets rid of the fight.
It is not viewer friendly, it's not arm wrestler friendly, I agree.
It's nothing. It turns it into some, like, how much can you lift event with, you know, it's anal, you know?
Well, it has to keep everybody inside this little tiny box.
It's terrible.
I think the advancement of equipment has really hurt arm wrestling a lot.
Yeah.
We have to fix that.
Yeah.
And I think we have to remember that who everybody is there to see.
Right.
Sorry guys, it's not the referees, it is the arm wrestlers and the arm wrestler match. That's what I believe.
I believe so too. And that's why the running foul lets the fight unfold.
Okay.
You know?
Okay.
And it gets rid of that, you know, foul restart thing, which is just so terrible, you know?
Okay. So I watched you pulled John Brzenk, who at the time was the man, and you became the #1 guy. You pulled Travis. Who is left as the #1 guy in the world right now? Who is it that you really want to pull? You haven't had a chance to pull yet.
Well, there's a lot of guys. I mean, I haven't had a lot of chance to arm wrestle big Europeans.
Okay.
Denis Aplenkov is the #2 guy. I always feel like, whenever possible, #1 and #2 should arm wrestle.
Okay.
You know, to me, that's just straightforward.
Sure.
You know, if you can make that happen, that's the one you want. I mean, #1 and #3 is good, #1 and #4 is good, but #1 and #2...
That's what you want to see.
Right.
For sure.
So, I mean, I want to pull the Europeans because I haven't had a good chance to really get to test myself against them, and the highest ranked guy I can pull. In North America, you know, is much more of a known bowl to me. Like, I know Europe, I mean...
It is the unknown. You watch video.
I mean, I watch video, but I don't know these guys. Like, it's totally foreign to me. But North America, my honest opinion is the #2 guy in North America is Tim Bresnan.
Really?
That's what I believe.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, hold on a second. Okay.
Hold on.
Okay.
I'm not editing that
Michael
out
Todd.
either, brother.
Okay, Michael Todd. Okay,
Yeah.
Michael Todd. I forgot about Michael. I don't know how I can forget about Michael. I don't know, Michael.
Michael's going to be calling
I know.
you
I
when
love
he sees
Michael.
this.
I wear Michael Todd T-shirts to bed at night. But so I think that Michael Todd and Tim Bresnan are really awesome. Okay.
Yep.
And I think Jerry Cataract fits in there somewhere. I honestly think that I'm going to have a harder time with Tim than I will with Michael.
Okay.
And I think I'll have a harder time with Tim than I will with Jerry. Just my opinion.
And that's just because styles make matchups,
It's
right?
just my opinion. Jerry's a bad dude, and he gets.
I don't have any doubt that Jerry's a bad
He's
dude.
a bad dude.
And honestly, I think that Jerry gets a bit of a bad rap. I don't care what anybody's style is. You know what? If you don't like it, beat him.
No, I agree. I think he's got a fantastic style, actually. I think there's a lot more going on than what meets the eye. But
he's obviously strong as hell, or he wouldn't be able to hold in like that.
Obviously.
Yeah, I mean, that is just crazy.
Jerry and I have been, it seems to be very hard to make us come together, you know.
Okay.
I know we both want to do the match, but, you know, I can sometimes be hard to get a hold of, and he can sometimes be hard to get a hold of, and between the two of us, it's been hard to make it happen. Hopefully May, you know who, make it happen.
We'll see what happens.
Make it happen.
Okay, so that brings me to, and we're talking a little bit about styles, so I want you to address because there's been a lot of bitching and complaining about Crazy George Zakowicz, the way he pulls, and now Michael seems to not mimic the style, but his style resembles George's a lot.
There's a lot of it. I mean, geez, I saw Dennis doing it too.
I saw Dennis and the Russian Nationals in that video.
But they're not the only ones, right? It's a handful of guys who figured out how to do it. And I think it's cool. I think it's all awesome. I love those styles, and I try and do them. I can't really do them that well. But the thing is, to me, is what pisses me off more than anything else is the people who are like, oh, it's crap, it's bull. Well, I'll tell you something. That's, when it comes right down to it, it's not a good way to arm wrestle.
It can't be.
It's not. Like, it's great if you're arm wrestling a guy who doesn't know how to arm wrestle. And I mean, I don't mean to be rude, but that's the unfortunate truth, is there is a way around it. People need to open their eyes and just see that having an arm that is crippled is not an advantage. Yes, it's an advantage if some meathead wants to try and go through it.
Right.
Just don't go through it. Don't get stuck in singular form arm wrestling. Learn to arm wrestle, you know, and you're not going to have a problem with a guy who's a cripple, okay? And that's basically what it is. I mean, geez, I'm turning into a cripple. It's not an advantage. It is not. It does not make you stronger.
So when you get there, I mean, if your arm already is starting to not extend
mine's
fully.
not too bad, but that's as straight as mine goes, you know?
Okay. So, because Michael says it hurts. It hurts him.
Yeah.
When somebody's laying on that,
right.
It only goes so far.
Well, okay. I mean, I know people say that. Yeah. Okay. And I'm gonna say that he's using some. Yeah. He might be like right at the end, right before it really hurts, but there's a little bit of a break going on there. But I think it's fine. I think it's cool. Like, that's a great weapon to have. But
well, I think as long as he's arm wrestling within the rules.
It's not an ace of spades. You know, it's not like his whole body is fused and everything is a statue and he can just, you know, twist his torso, you know. No, he still has to have a hand.
Yes.
You know? And, you know, people need to see that. Like, people need to realize that, okay, if you hit a wall, okay, go around it. And I've pulled George a lot. I've gotten to pull Michael. And you don't try and go through a wall. You don't do that. Yes, he's got a wall. George has a wall.
Yep.
Don't try and go through the wall. Go around it. And he's a normal man. You know what I mean?
I do. Okay, that's great. And on that, we'll take a break and we'll be back with the champ. Damn, look at that. Flexing and everything for you, folks. Devon, I really appreciate you sitting down and talking with us. Welcome back to the show. Over the course of the past couple of years, you've been pretty lucky. You got to travel, work out and train with some different clubs. I want to know what that's like for you as the #1 guy in the world. You know that you're the star coming into their room, and everybody's waiting, oh my God, the man is here, the man is here. So, but how do you approach going to a new club and training with some new guys?
Well, that's one of my favorite things to do. I always find whenever I go outside the Ottawa High Hookers, you know, I mean outside Ontario, I mean, it's pretty much home for all of us. But as soon as I kind of start to leave Ontario, you know, I find that when I go to a club, guys come at me hard, and I get a good workout, and I love it. I love showing up to different clubs. I've had the pleasure of pulling a lot of different places in the States, Europe, all over Canada, you know. Been very lucky that way. I tell you, I think it's a lot of reasons for my success, because all the different clubs are doing, you know, they all have their greatnesses, you know, like, you know how every arm wrestler has something that he's really good at.
Yeah.
You know, you talk to any guy who's been arm wrestling like 5 years, he can show you something.
Yes.
Like the way he holds his thumb, or like, you know, something he can explain to you that he does really, really, really good. And that's not just about individuals, that's about clubs as well. You know, you'll find that whole clubs have flavors. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I remember when I used to go to London, Ontario, back, you know, like 10 years ago. My God, right-handed hook arm wrestling.
Okay.
Holy Jesus! And then there was George. but for the most part, I mean, that's what we bumped into. You know, all the different clubs have their strengths, and you know, and I'm lucky because I get to see it all and bring it back to Ottawa, and I feel it makes me a lot better.
So since you get a chance to train with all these different clubs in different parts of the U.S., Canada, and Europe, so how do the Canadian arm wrestlers that you're used to stack up against some of these other clubs and the guys that you're pulling against?
Really good.
Yeah?
Yeah, really good.
Nobody's like that far above or way ahead of us with their techniques or whatever?
Now, I mean, I'm inclined to believe the rumors for the most part that Russia is very strong and Northern Europe is very strong. I haven't got the pleasure to train a lot there.
Okay.
And pull a lot there. So it's kind of a bit of a black hole for me. What I feel is Ontario is very strong.
Okay.
I think we've got it very good in Ontario. I mean, I haven't pulled everywhere. You know,
No.
I just get little tidbits from, I mean, when I pulled in Vancouver, I've been really, really impressed by the Vancouver team overall. I think that they have a very high fitness level and they have a lot of experience and high-level athletes. I mean, when you talk about Canada, my assessment would be Ontario's really good, followed by Vancouver. You know, I think Vancouver's got to be number 2 in Canada as far as clubs go.
And you know what, I got to give a shout out, and I do, Devon will too. So while you're here in Nova Scotia,
oh,
the
yeah.
Bears twins.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, I've had the pleasure of pulling here quite a few times as well, and you guys are real good. I mean, the studs out here, I got to say, Will Sardi's a stud.
Yeah.
But I really think that the Bears they're kind of freaks, aren't they?
Randy and Ralphie Bears
Yeah.
are some of the most naturally gifted young kids that I've seen come to an arm wrestling table.
Gotta agree with you. I mean, I think that Randy's the really freaky one.
Ralphie.
Ralphie's a freaky one? Okay,
yeah.
I never get their names right. Sorry, guys. They look freaking identical.
Yeah, for sure.
But Ralphie, I remember last time I was here, I mean, I think whether he pinned my left or whether we were going, like, I was going full steam. This kid's like 185 pounds.
I know, he's...
And I heard we're going to arm wrestle here in probably like 5-10 minutes. And this guy's amazing, yeah. I mean, this guy's Ralphie.
He's
Ralphie Bears.
Bears.
Watch out.
As much as, and I think so too, that Devon's a freak, this kid is a freak coming to the arm wrestling table.
Yeah.
And still doesn't really train.
Yeah, he will shake up the world scene, I think.
Yeah, I think
I really think he will.
So that's cool. And I know you've trained and been with the guys in Turkey and the boys in Turkey.
Yes.
Do you find over in Europe, do they take it more serious or do they have more time to devote?
Well, it's very, very interesting to me. I got to train with Engin.
Okay.
And the guys from Turkey, which was fantastic. I love doing it. Very, very interesting to me. In Ontario and Canada, you know, people arm wrestle, and it's just all about having a good time. You know,
Yep.
It's fun. We get together as a club, and we pull, and really, if we ever get any money, we're thinking we're so awesome, right?
We're not holding our breath for that.
If we win the Gloucester Fair and win $100, I mean, we got our gas money paid for.
It's a great weekend, right?
It's good time. But in some of these countries, like Turkey, I mean, they have a sports program, and you know, there's incentive.
Okay.
You know, they have financial incentive to a degree, you know, which I'm not going to get into and don't really have all the details. But I do know that their government actually supports them, and how awesome is that?
That's pretty cool.
That's awesome, right?
Yeah.
And that's a game changer, right?
For sure.
Can you imagine?
No, I can't.
Right, so, you know, that definitely changes it. And you could see it there. I mean, you could tell that the athletes were really serious, and, you know, but I think that it does change it just a little bit. Whereas everybody in, you know, Canada and the States, you know, that I know, I mean, primarily, we're doing it because we love it. And we're there because we just are crazy about arm wrestling.
Okay.
You know, whereas, you know, if you go, I mean, that's the only reason you're going to be there. You're not going there because I'm coming here for work. I'm coming here to get paid, you know?
No, that's right.
Right, but I think that must, see, because it would be in my mind, you know, if I was getting, you know, paid by the government, that would enter my mind. And I don't know if I don't know if I'd want people to know anything. I don't know if I would want people to get better around me, because I'd be thinking job security, right?
Well, yeah, you'd be less willing to share knowledge and information about arm wrestling and about your training and whatever you're doing than you are now.
And I mean, I wasn't there long enough to get a good feel that this is what's going on or anything, but I certainly think that, you know, money definitely changes things. And, you know, as much as I would love government, I would love government sponsorship.
Oh, please.
I'm not even going to say anything negative at all.
No, government sponsorship would be ideal.
Would be
It would be the most incredible thing. So, and now, finally, I just got two more things to ask you about. So what is it you're doing for training now? I've heard, and John has actually confirmed this, so John Brzenk no longer weight trains, per se.
Right.
He arm wrestles. So what are you, do you still weight train? Do you just arm wrestle? What are you doing now?
I do change it up. I've always believed, and actually, I mean, I got this from reading the Ask John, you know,
on Armwrestling.com
right,
way back when, yeah.
He's like, you know, if you want to be a better arm wrestler, you know, you got to arm wrestle, right? And that has always been my staple. Has been for many years now. I mean, I arm wrestle my balls off, you know.
Yeah.
Like, I will pull to failure multiple times a week, you know, and mostly everything else is just to get me ready for the next thing. But things have changed. Like, I'm always kind of trying to balance my health and look to the future. You know, I have changed the way I train in the last 8 months, and I've been sticking to it, and I've really enjoyed it. So same thing. I'm arm wrestling as much as I can.
Okay.
Okay, twice a week, 2 hard days a week. And sometimes I'll have fillers in between, like, you know, buddy comes over to my house, we'll train light, you know, nothing crazy, just one guy, maybe another guy. So I might arm wrestle 4 times, 5 times in a week, but only 2 of the days are hard.
Okay, yeah.
And then in between, I used to do, my rehab that I used to do would be high rep and a lot of really specific stuff. You know, like, you guys have seen all the handles for arm wrestling and the belts,
for sure.
right? All the, like, little stuff. But I've gotten away from that a lot. And really, I train very much like an Olympic lifter. I do singles.
Okay.
I do 1 rep.
And that's it?
Yeah. I do 1 rep. And I might do a bunch of them. I might do like 5 or 6. But that's it.
So is that 1 rep as heavy, though?
Yeah, it's heavy.
Okay.
You know, and I'm talking, like, I'll do clean and jerk.
Yeah.
Maybe 1 hand, maybe 2 hand.
Okay, yeah.
But I'm doing clean and jerk. I'll do squat. You can tell I've been doing a lot of squats. You know, I'm sure you noticed. Deadlift. Really, that's my major muscles. Really, I feel like it fires my whole body up.
Okay.
I do all the big compounds, and really the reason why I'm doing it is, you know, I'm 36 now, and
Why, you think you're old all of a sudden? I'm not feeling very bad for you.
Oh, you know, the thing is here's what I notice about all the really old guys I know.
Oh, damn.
You know, I notice that the old guys I know, you know, they're walking down the stairs and they trip, and I'm like, oh God, he's gonna die, right? So that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking, okay, you know, I gotta keep my bone density high.
Yeah.
You know, I gotta have my bone density high, and I think that heavy singles, I feel it in my bones, you know.
Okay.
And I also worry that I mean, people have always been on me about being slow, you know. Seriously. And I'm not talking about the way I talk to you.
What?
Yeah, exactly. Right? So I figure I really need to work my fast twitch fibers. You know, I figure I got enough endurance. I don't need to worry about that. You know, I need more pop, you know.
Is it working yet?
No, it really isn't. But you know, I can dream, right?
Well, we'll find out whenever your next match is.
Exactly. Well, no,
If you actually hear her go.
I think this is like a decade in the making,
Okay.
you know. But, you know, I need to have my fast twitch fibers not degrade. And
Okay.
I worry that with age, they will degrade. So I want to do everything I can to maintain my fast twitch fibers.
Okay, cool. And the final thing I want to ask you about is, so I don't know if you're aware or not, right now we're testing, hopefully, the use of video replay in arm wrestling.
It's about time. Yeah.
You think this is a good thing?
I think it's a great thing. But now, again, all right, I really think that I like video replay,
Yep.
but what I like more is I like the loosening of the rules to allow a running foul. Okay, I've said that before,
Yep.
but that's more important than using a camera. You know, yes, okay, like you want to be sure a guy doesn't get screwed. Okay,
Yeah.
absolutely, and the only way to do that is not with another ref talking about it. It's with the camera. Okay, it's black and white. It's simple. Okay, I know that a camera's not perfect.
No.
Okay, but Jesus, we have the technology.
Let's use it.
Exactly. But what's more important than that is using the running foul
Okay,
to actually
but
see a match.
You're realistic enough to know that in the WAF system, I don't think the countries are going to allow that
Well,
change to
they
happen
should.
right yet.
Well, you know
right
what?
now they're not ready.
Seriously, I mean, there's a lot of things that are wrong with arm wrestling, but sometimes you need to take, you know, bold steps. If you want things to work, I think you need to take bold steps. And I mean, ask any arm wrestler who's pulled under those rules. Ask them if they're satisfied.
Okay.
It should be that simple. It should not be more complicated than that. Ask any arm wrestler who's pulled with the running foul system. Ask them what they think. And I would be shocked if you find anyone that says,
no?
oh, it's bad. No, everyone's going to love it. Okay, and it should be no more complicated than that. It should be, okay, this is what arm wrestling is, you know?
Cool. And on that note, Devon, I appreciate you having time for us on the show.
Right on.
Until the next time, and keep those In the Hook videos coming to us, will you?
All right, we will.
And I'm Scott McGinnis in Sackville, Nova Scotia for Devon and myself, and we're out of here.